Hello again. Welcome back to the garage. This time I'm not even dirty. Before I drop this week's video about wrapping up the Corvette and getting the studs and everything replaced and showcasing some of my newfound camera skills and creative ideas, I want to talk to you about the idea of direction, or more specifically, the feeling of being directionless or lost. As a member of Gen Z myself, many of my cohorts have fell victim to this, as have I. And I want to talk about what leads you to this feeling of being lost. Let's consider the concept of asking. Have you asked yourself anything lately? Have you asked yourself ever, where do I want to be? But seriously, not what do I want to be when I grow up and answer the way an elementary schooler would. But asking yourself this question and answering it as a grown man. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to end up? Do you want to end up anywhere? And if you've never asked yourself where you want to go, then you have no way to get there. You have no route to take. You have no direction. Right now, I'm sitting in the middle of what is the culmination of me focusing on my hobbies on the back burner. I'm approaching 30 years old, and it's the first time I've had my own space to myself that is mine to pursue my creative vision and mentally chew on things that I like to, like working on cars, making a cool shop space, collecting, these type of things. But the reason I'm here is because I asked myself what is important to me. And I would have to make an entire sequel to this video in order to answer that question properly. But something I see in my cohorts a lot, people my age, is asking, how can I end up somewhere without actually taking the steps necessary to end at that destination? How can I teleport somewhere, metaphorically, in life? How can I teleport to fame? How can I teleport to satisfaction? What you're asking yourself is, how can I do the impossible? And then you wonder why you have fallen victim to a mental sickness. It's sad, really, watching these people become their own worst enemy in the worst way, clawing and scraping at any kind of justification or way to pawn off this directionlessness on a miracle not happening, when in actuality, the miracle has happened. They are here, they have been blessed with free will, yet they squander it and lay in wait, sometimes forever. To me, there have been many points in my life where this, which really isn't much, seemed like it may have been forever away. So I asked myself, where do I want to be all over again? And I answered with a much more mature perspective. Yes, I think everyone and their brother would like to have the capability financially and especially with their time to do anything, be anywhere, yada yada. But again, this is asking yourself to do the impossible. It's asking yourself to arrive at multiple destinations simultaneously. You must choose one. And it is your responsibility, once you have chosen a destination, to do what is necessary. I, like you, as a young man, asked myself, what do I do? Not just in the now, what do I do for an extended period of time? How do I get somewhere? But then I look back now, and I wish I could have asked myself in the past, what do you do in order to what? What do you do in order to get rich? What do you do in order to be happy? What do you do in order to have more free time? What do you do in order to not feel trapped in a mental prison? Each one of these questions has a different answer. But you haven't even completed the task of finishing the question, let alone finishing the plan of how to get there, finishing your map, and then taking the first step. You haven't even asked yourself properly, what do you want? So I beg you as a young man to find out how to ask yourself the right question. What do you want? Where will you be? Who will you become? Will you become, or will you just exist? Now that's a real question, isn't it? That was off the top of the head. But that's the kind of mentality you need to have as a young man. The idea that things are totally cooked, catastrophically rifted, sounds appealing. And there may be some truth to it that things are bad, and that is absolutely certain in some sense that it is going to be harder over time to achieve the same result given specific sets of global circumstances. But what you should be asking yourself is, how do I do it in spite of it all? How do I become in the face of just existing? And this becoming could be anything. And what makes it so rich, so divine in nature, is that the desire to become is determined by you. It's not something that feels like it comes from within, but it's almost as if it's something that you tap into from without. It's as if when you spend enough time asking and looking inward, something from outward comes to you. But without first asking, it will never hear. There will be no call to answer from the universe, from source energy, from God, whomever you want to call it. I struggle still with direction. Every time that one of my small goals is achieved, a new one is to be set. But these small goals are to be set and achieved in search of, or en route to, rather, some kind of final destination that exists in the abstract. Like, if your final destination has a number on it, good luck. And how cheap, how earthly, how material. Can you put a number on your satisfaction? Can you put a number on your arrival, your becoming, your individuation? I sure hope not. If you can, maybe this mental sickness exists in you. I hear people say, oh, man, if only I had been born with a fortune, I'd guard it like a guard dog. I'd keep anything from ever penetrating or stealing from me or taking ever. But what do they do to build their own? What do they do to arrive at the destination without teleporting? That's what shows you who someone is. And that's what should show you who you are. What do you do to get there? Do you walk? Do you run? Do you build a boat? Do you crawl no matter what? And don't take this in a pseudo-alpha cringe, almost like bastardized Goggins way of like, you must never stop. You must carry the boat into infinity. But rather, you must consider the possibility that without an end destination in mind, all this running you're doing is just in circles. And then, after your years of running in circles, you arrive back at square one. You may become bitter. You may become hateful, resentful of others, of yourself, of the universe, of any divine source, all because you failed to ask. It's no one's responsibility to teach you how to ask, but I would like to try and inspire you to. The best part is it doesn't matter what you ask. Just ask it good. Ask it with detail. Ask it with intention. It doesn't matter what you're asking. You could be asking this divine source. You could be asking yourself. You could be asking of others. You could find others who may be closer to this destination and you can tell where they're headed. Does what they have, does their set of circumstances arise because they're wanting to get where I want to go? Or is it something totally different? Did I have it all wrong from the start? Did I ask myself the wrong question? That's what I want you as a young man to consider, and consider heavily, because no one else can consider it for you. No one else can drive the car or your life for you. It must be you. And it will be you, if you ask.